Hello and welcome to a special instant reaction episode of The People's Rose. I'm Jared.
I'm Brooke.
And we are a married couple who love reality TV. This is a reality TV podcast. We love reality TV so much that, against everyone's better judgment, we became the 700th million podcast in the United States. But we're happy to be talking about reality TV. Like I said, it's a special instant reaction episode because we are as close to live, I guess, when it comes to it, and up to
Yeah.
date as we've been in a while. We're going to have an episode especially focused on the finale of Big Brother 26.
Quite frankly, the GOAT of reality TV.
Exactly.
Big Brother.
We love Big Brother. It's one of our favorite shows.
Yes.
And we watched, I've seen every season. Brooke's seen every season since he started watching, which is basically around, 12?
It was before then.
Well, anyways, we are as knowledgeable as it gets. We like it a lot. We're super fans. And so the episode aired earlier tonight. We are talking about it right here, right now. You're either listening to our podcast or you're watching us right now on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in while we talk about this night's finale.
Yep.
We talk about other reality TV shows too. So check out our podcast. Check out our YouTube. It's www.peoplesrose.com. We're The People's Rose on social media. So please check us out. All right, let's stop wasting time and let's get right into it. Tonight was the finale of the 26th season of the American version of Big Brother. What have been your thoughts on this season?
Well, this season was very entertaining, I will say. It was different in that they got out a lot of the heavy hitters early on.
Yeah.
And it kind of evened out the playing field. But then we did see Chelsea and Mackenzie dominate.
Truly.
I'm so sorry. Dominate in the competitions.
Yeah.
And so then it kind of became predictable because it was like, okay, obviously Chelsea's going to the end.
Right.
And then obviously we know she's going to win if she goes to the end.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but roll back the tapes, you will see I was ride or die for Chelsea from day one.
Yeah, you have always kind of been rooting for Chelsea. She's been your number one. When we do our rankings on the People's Rose. So you were right. And I never really had that one person who I was rooting for this season. That's why it took me a little while to get into it. But I always default to our hometown heroes when it comes to reality TV, whether it be dating or reality. And our runner-up this season is from the Houston area, which is where we're from. So congrats to them. You're the person you were rooting for won.
Yep.
And the person I was, default rooting for.
Oh my God. Well, okay, so who would you have rooted for?
Again, no
if
one.
They hadn't had gone home. Is there anybody that you're like, oh, that was going to be my person?
No, that's why I said there was never anyone that I was like, I actually wanted to see them do well. The only person I came close to is for a while I was liking T-Core. I thought T-Core was doing what Chelsea ended up doing.
Yeah.
But it turns out T-Core wasn't actually strategic. She just wanted to hang out with her friends.
Yeah.
Like her strategy really wasn't much more than that.
That's fair.
And then Leah and Angela, there was about a week where I wanted them to kind of turn but because I didn't want it to just become the train
Chelsea Mackenzie.
The train heading towards Chelsea, Mackenzie, and Cam, which is what ended up happening.
Yeah.
But they just, one, they couldn't pull it off, and two, I just could not bring myself to root for Angela. In theory, I wanted Angela to win, but then I would actually watch her on the feeds and on the show, and I just couldn't do it.
She was a toughie, for sure. It wasn't even like, I don't know, sometimes people are like a hard watch, and you're still like, there's lovable qualities, though. I just don't even, with Angela, I'm like, just don't even know if I ever really, any part of me liked her.
We got to be loving to everyone, but you don't have to be, it's just, we're not going to get along with everyone.
Yeah.
And I can say almost assuredly that she is someone I would not get along with.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but tonight's not her night. Like Taylor said, it's not about you anymore.
Yeah.
When Angela was about to make it about her, it is of course about the finale of this latest season, which aired tonight. Julie looks good, by the way. We haven't really commented on her.
She has been looking good this season.
Yeah, she looks really good to finish it off, and so we had to finish it off.
She seems like she's been a lot more playful this season with the house guests.
Yeah, well, I think it's helped that they have reciprocated so much love and joy towards her. It's
Oh my
allowed
gosh.
her to open up.
Did we even talk about when that one Thursday what was it, like Final Five?
Where they sang the song or
Yeah,
whatever?
they sang a song. They had written a song and sang it to Julie when it first, like, she's like, "Hello, house guest," and it was so cute, and she was so happy about it.
Yeah,
she thought it was so sweet.
So yeah, it's just been, she's had a good season. Okay, so here we are, finale night. We, of course, because we keep up with the feeds on social media, like I'm sure most do, we knew that Chelsea and Mackenzie won. We just we wanted to see the comps.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea won an endurance comp, which you said it surprised you. It didn't surprise me because she's the shortest. Cam and Mackenzie are tall and athletic.
I always forget about that.
But those endurance where you have more, like there's less leverage on your core. There's more force on your core than there would be for shorter people. So she wins that. And then it comes down to and then Mackenzie wins her little thing.
Basically like a puzzle.
Yeah, and it was a given.
Cam, she smoked him.
He didn't
even have a chance.
They kept making it a D1 athlete thing, but the comps are never, hey, go run an out route.
Yeah.
If it was that, he would win the season.
Yeah, for sure.
But so yeah, he it's really it just wasn't it.
Listen, Cam won one competition the whole entire season. And there are people who think that he was throwing them, but I think he truly just was not good at them.
My dad was saying, my dad was saying he's throwing comps.
Yeah.
That's just definitely
There's no way.
It wasn't any good, which is okay. It's one of those things. Okay, and so Mackenzie wins the second HOH. Mm-hmm. Of course, we got the final HOH. Before we get to that, we have been saying, just like everyone who is watching has been saying, for basically the last month, it feels like, maybe even more, this was Chelsea's game to lose.
I mean, yeah.
The second that Mackenzie sent Leah home on her HOH, it was over.
It was
over because it became apparent that Chelsea was making her moves and Cam and Mackenzie's moves.
Yeah.
And as she said, and we'll get to the speeches in a second, Chelsea had it set it up to where both Mackenzie and Cam were planning to feel like they had to be loyal to take her to the game, to the final two.
Which makes me kind of like, I really wanted it to come down to Chelsea making the decision, because I genuinely don't know who she would have picked, and it would have been drama.
It would have been Cam.
You think?
Yeah, she wouldn't have won unanimously. Maybe no, she still would have. But it's okay. This is what everyone said. This anyone who's really deep fans of the show has said this. So that we're not geniuses for saying this. But for those, it's been 10 seasons. If you missed it the first time around, this was just a replay of Big Brother 16. Chelsea is Derek, Cody is Mackenzie, and Victoria is Cam. You got the scapegoat that they brought with Cam and Victoria, who was just there to have someone that, hey, I dare you to make this person winner.
Yeah.
Then a comp beast that won a lot of comps. You know what I mean? And Mackenzie, but wasn't smart enough strategy-wise to play their own game. Chelsea and Derek played both of their games. The only difference is, and I still think Derek's one of the all-time GOATs, but Chelsea actually won more HOHs than Derek did. So she even had more of a competition. He was even more of a competition.
The only thing is that Derek was never on the block. Chelsea did get put on the block.
Yeah, Derek was never on the block until the final HOH. But in both scenarios, they had set it up to where their goon, is what I'll call him, their henchman, and Mackenzie and Cody just felt an undeniable sense of loyalty where they had to bring them.
Yeah.
Unknowingly, securing themselves a loss.
So here's my take on that.
And I think in both Derek, and to bring it full circle, in both the Derek and Cody situation and the Chelsea and Mackenzie situation, Derek not winning, he always said, "Oh, I would have brought Cody."
He did.
But I think he says that, but that's the hindsight of knowing he could beat Cody.
True.
But when you don't know that, Derek, I think, was cutthroat enough to say, I got to lock it down, and I'm taking Victoria, and I'll deal with it. And I think Chelsea was cutthroat enough to say, hey, I gotta lock it down. I gotta take. And in both scenarios, they don't have to. They didn't have to, so now they can look back and say, like, I would have taken you too.
Yeah.
So they can look like they also played a loyal game.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Well, so here's my thought on it is that Mackenzie always, I feel like, wanted that to be her thing. Like, I'm loyal. I've played a loyal, honest game. So this is why I'm making this move. This is why I'm doing this.
Right.
And I get it. I understand that. And you said this too. At the end of the day, like, she's going to have to live with her decision forever, right? And if
Yeah.
she feels like she did something to wrong somebody, then that might be hard for some people to live with. And so I feel like that's her thing. But you are like, I don't care. She should have picked Cam because she would have won over him. I mean, I don't know. I think they just I think they bond so much in there that it really is hard to make like cuts like that sometimes.
Right, but it's not like it's not like it's just it's like $700,000, $725.
I know.
Or it's somewhere along. It's more than 700. It's more than $600,000. What we'll say.
Yeah.
The difference between first and second. Mistake. It's just it doesn't make any sense. Why start a game of checkers or a game of what's shoots and ladders?
Yeah.
If you're in the end, you're gonna be like, well, actually, I can't bring myself to beat you. Y'all both signed up to play the same game. I've seen people say it on Twitter. I agree. No more of these. I just gotta play an ultra loyal game. No more of that, because the people that come in there to play strategic are too cutthroat, and they ended up taking advantage of them. Derek, yes, made a friendship with Cody, but 100% manipulated him because on a basis of loyalty.
Well, same with Chelsea.
100% wasn't even planning to.
Yeah.
But it was just too easy not to.
Yeah.
And so because of that, as much as this was a good season, knowing who the winner is so far out because everyone else just gives it to him.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
That is weird. That is true. That does kind of feel like how it went this season.
And I think what makes it different, people hate Big Brother 16. Like I'll put it out there right now. I'm a Big Brother 16 appreciator. I'm a Derek Lavassier appreciator. But people hate that season. Why? Because it felt like people knew he was going to win by week 4.
Yeah.
And nobody stopped him. And it felt like everyone was dumb.
This
was a little different because it wasn't as apparent. But now if you look back, Chelsea has been running it for equally as long.
Yeah.
And then we just had enough entertaining us to distract us.
Yeah.
If this were to keep happening like this, I promise you, in a couple seasons, people would be like, okay, what are we doing here?
I mean, Tucker clocked it. He like, 100%. She's running it. She needs to go. But then he just, unfortunately, was a little bit too unhinged to make it happen.
Right. While we're on the subject of Tucker, why don't we just go ahead and discuss him being voted? Well, our top 3.
Oh.
For those, I mean, if you're watching this, we assume you've seen the finale. So obviously, our final 3 America's favorites were
Tucker, Angela, and Quinn.
And our winner was Tucker. It came a shock to.
Did you vote?
No.
I voted. I voted for Cedric.
Wow, that's interesting.
I wanted Cedric to win.
It's an interesting because typically I do at least vote,
Mm-hmm.
but because I truly this season just had no strong opinions except for disliking Angela.
Mm-hmm.
I just
I feel like that is gonna go to her head that she was in the top 3.
Just nothing.
America loved me.
But even if she was a villain, I think I think Angela just wants attention.
Yeah.
So she reminds me, and this is so weird. I've said it before. She, for me, is like how I liked Rachel Riley.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine how I feel about Angela is how people felt about Rachel Riley.
Yeah.
They were just
for sure
wanted the attention, and they actually, when they found out that people didn't really like them, it didn't seem to bother them too much.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh well, I'm awesome. You know what I mean? And they both honestly are similar. They're both whiners. They both are pull the
criers.
Are criers. I just happen to like
Pick fights with people.
right.
Yeah.
For no reason.
For no reason.
Immature. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
How
they both
weird was it? Sorry,
Go
I
ahead.
cut
No,
you
go
off.
ahead.
No, I was just saying at the finale, they were like, "Oh, Matt, you have something to say to Angela," and again, he's like, "Thank you for sending me home. I've gotten to work with the youth or something." And she was just like, "Okay, well, I stand by what I said." Like, I was like, "Why are we doing this?" And then he was like, "I heard you on the feeds that you didn't know if I would give you a hug or not, but I want to give you a hug." And she was like, "I don't really want to give you a hug, but I will." And I was just like, what the heck? And then they were like, "Angela, what do you think about do you give your blessing for of showmance now with Mackenzie and Matt?" And she was like, "Yeah, I mean, they don't really need my blessing, but yeah." I'm just like, what are we doing here, people?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that was like a pinnacle moment of the season, but it just was, I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I will say Angela did, I guess, have beat Matt in the end, because by the end of the season, I did not care to hear what Matt had to say about his flirt man. I really just didn't care to even see him on my screen.
Yeah.
And it's his 5 minutes of fame, so he's trying to make it a big
Right,
deal.
he's trying to milk it.
And that was an iconic scene, but we had all kind of moved on.
I think I saw he said on some TikTok or live or something that he was like, maybe I'll become like someone asked him, "Do you want to become an influencer from this?" And he was just like, "Yeah, I'm open to it." So I was like, okay, that's the only reason you were there.
We've already talked about Matt too much. I don't care to talk about him anymore.
I know.
Anyways,
I know. I went on a tangent because we were talking about Angela.
Yeah, they try to engineer some moments.
She just is very. She really holds on to grudges, which is why I was shocked that she ended up sending voting for Chelsea. But there was something that was said in the final speeches, and now I can't remember what it was, where she made a face when Mackenzie said something, and I was like, oh, she lost her. But I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, Mackenzie just didn't really do well. Let's see. Mackenzie chooses Cam, doesn't choose Cam. I mean, I guess we can give 5 seconds on Cam. We talked about him a little bit. Wasn't good at comps. Wasn't really good socially. Was also going to pick Chelsea and lose to her, but would have lost to Mackenzie. Yeah. So shout out to his dogs at the crib. Yeah. Third place looks good on him. Okay.
I like him.
Yeah, I like him, but I mean, he didn't do anything.
No, I know.
He was Chemo did more, and we dogged Chemo.
Okay.
So yeah. So, and he also got bring some clippers if you were. I mean, what was happening with the haircuts?
You wouldn't want to cut your own hair either.
I hear you, but bro, this was national TV.
They should have brought someone in to cut his hair.
Okay, so Mackenzie and Chelsea are now in the finals. We get our jury roundtable. Taylor Hale was our host. You did a great job, Taylor.
She did a good job.
I saw people talking about it, seeing her come from being, bullied, almost sent home, to now winning and being a certified legend and being a continuing star. She made it on Reindeer Games, made it far, and now hosting the jury roundtable, she solidified herself. And that guy, and the girl, the lady, the lesbian cop from that season, and the weird swoop over guy who was bullying her. I don't even remember their names.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and I don't care
yeah.
to. So that's just one of those things. You need to, that's how. Anyways, so we are at the jury roundtable. It's kind of obvious that Chelsea everyone knew she played the best game. They just wanted to see her own up to it.
Yes.
They didn't want her to be, I tried to be honest with you, or whatever. They wanted to admit that. You had something on your face. I was doing it for you.
Thank you.
They wanted to admit that her game. So we get to the Q&A in the speeches section. She had already won the game, but this is where she didn't fumble it. She didn't mess it up. This is where she solidified it.
Yeah.
And I was like, she didn't answer straight right off the bat.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, she was I was trying to be, but she read the room. I think she saw that they were like.
I think so too. Because she said, I was given information. I used it when I needed to. I didn't when I didn't need to.
Right. And the reaction of people.
Quinn was like, I don't don't know about
And
that.
I think they can see the faces, and I think that's another part of her game where she knew, like, okay, I can unleash. They're not gonna get mad if I own up to it. She was worried about bitterness, but there was no bitter people.
No,
Because if people were bitter, she could have lost to Mackenzie.
Well,
so I think she was hedging her bets just in case people were like, Chelsea, you betrayed me, and she didn't want, you know what I mean? If she came on too strong without seeing that, it could have been bad. But she read the room, read the jury as quickly as she could, adapted, and wiped the floor with Mackenzie.
Yeah, I mean, Mackenzie, I thought Mackenzie, because Angela was very, very salty at Chelsea. And I thought that Mackenzie was going to at least get one vote from Angela. But when they asked Mackenzie what was the best move you made, and she said getting Leah out, and then immediately following, they asked Chelsea,
what her best move was.
Well, they said what have you done to, like, they kind of gave that to her though, because they were like, what did you do that influenced other people's games? Right. And she instantly said, I got her to get Leah out. And I just wonder what was going through Mackenzie's head at that. Was she just like, oh shoot, she's right? Or was she like just not even still realizing that that's what had happened?
Mackenzie didn't know what was going on at all in the house until that moment. Chelsea worked her like a dog and had her in the dark like a naked mole rat. It was embarrassing for her. I hope she feels embarrassed. I hope she learns from this.
Oh my gosh.
No, seriously, because like it's like, what was she doing? It was like, it just even say that was her best move. It was over. Chelsea didn't even have to say.
Yeah.
If Chelsea had just gone, if Chelsea, after Mackenzie said, if Chelsea just said,
and then Chelsea said, and I got her to use the veto on Angela, who she hated from day one.
Right.
And I think in that moment, Angela was like, okay, well, you got my vote.
And the fact that Chelsea knew to throw in that Mackenzie hated her.
Yeah.
Because she knew Angela was bitter is a masterful stroke.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. And I want to say this, and I'm going to acknowledge that I was a little hard on her about it. But now that we have the whole season, I'm just going to say it was a quirk of her game. And I'm actually going to commend her for this.
What?
Hold on.
Oh.
I'm about to say what I'm talking about.
Oh, sorry. I thought I missed it.
No. Chelsea was and this kind of blinded me to how good of a game player. I knew it, but anyways, Chelsea is a Big Brother legend.
Wow.
It's already been crowned. I just saw this come through. Chelsea joins Dan Giesling from Big Brother 10 and Cody Calafiore from Big Brother 22 as the only Big Brother U.S. house guest to play a perfect game, which entails receiving no eviction votes and winning by a unanimous jury vote.
Wow!
So she is a legend. And the only thing that slowed her down, but she stopped herself, was she had a huge crush on Cam. She had a huge crush on Cam.
That almost blew her game up.
And it wasn't, I think anyone who was watching doesn't think it was a two-way street. Now, they might meet up and maybe they end up dating. I would be gobsmacked. But what makes her even better is, and she said it, and at first I was like, you're dang wrong. You're wrong. She said, I could have been in the showman. And I was like, no, you couldn't have, Chelsea. I don't think he liked you as much as you think he does. But this is what separates her, and this is why it is she still did get a point across. That showman's delusion that slowed other people down, like Quinn and Leah and Matt and
Tucker.
She had it just as strong as they did, if not stronger, but she refused to let it encompass her game.
Yeah, you're right.
Even when she was mad and jealous and doing things, we'd be like, Chelsea, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But she never gave in and just said, I'll throw my game away for romance or anything. Like, we're being into, she said, I won't allow that to interfere, even if it's, her delusions were getting to her. I do think she was delusional, but she was good enough to overcome that delusion. And to be honest, this is tough. I would say, if you a gun to my head right now, she is, wow, I can't believe I'm saying, I think better than Janelle.
Wow.
I think she's better than this. I can't even believe it. I'm almost trying to stop myself from saying it. I think she's better than Danielle Reyes.
Wow.
And I think Vanessa Russo. I mean, what doesn't even come close. I think we've seen the best. The only person who's, and I hate this person, Nicole. I don't hate. I hate him. I'm sorry. I do not hate Nicole Franzel. I just disliked her gameplay. I would say right now that I don't know how I pronounce her last name, but Chelsea is the greatest female Big Brother player of all time.
Wow.
And
for you to say that, I know that's big.
And a top 5 player. We need time to see where that settles. But if she's not in that echelon of the Dan Gieslings, the Derricks, the Dr. Will Kirby's,
no, you're right.
the Cody Calafioris,
you're right.
I really don't know what else you could do. It just recently it's literally been a couple hours. But as much as it's taken a whole game for me to see it, Brittany, I mean, what's her name? Chelsea. I keep forgetting her name. Chelsea, mad props.
Wow.
Congrats for winning Big Brother unanimously.
You know, a lot of those what's the word? Like achievements were made. Is that the right word? Like that for Chelsea. Yeah. Mackenzie, she's in the top of like number of comp wins, right?
Right.
And then Tucker was the first to win America's Favorite without being in the jury and a finalist. Said that's what Julie said.
This is a landmark season. We've kind of been getting a lot of landmark seasons though. We had a kind of road bump with All Stars 2, which was one of the worst seasons ever. And
that was such a bummer.
And had me questioning if I wanted to still be a fan of the show.
Oh, truly, Jared.
Like, truly. It was so bad that I was like, if they don't change anything, I don't know if I can be. I was going to always watch. But
what?
But no. Then we had the cookout. We had Taylor Hale. We had, another kind of slower season with Jag winning. But, props to Jag. And now this season, for everything, the Chelsea win, the Tucker stuff, the Angela stuff. And it being a rehash of what we all know about Big Brother, but kind of what we all love. It was a good season. It's taken me all season to really, really, really feel that way.
Yeah, it was kind of a slow build. Yeah, no, I agree. I think it was a great season.
So that's I guess all of our strategy talk. There's really nothing else to say except good for Chelsea.
Good for Chelsea.
An incredibly bad move by Mackenzie. Yeah. I can't stress enough.
I think they should change. I think they should bump up second player to 100,000.
I don't think so. And here's why. If you make second place too good, you're going to have people are already happy to get second place. Because $75,000 is a lot.
Well, yeah.
But it needs to be something that's so big. I don't need people going like, oh, we both, you won 7,500, I won 300,000. We both won a lot, life-changing money. I want it to be like every day after that, at least for a year, you're like, dang, what could I be doing?
Oh my gosh.
You need to have that drive.
Yeah.
If things are too even at the top, you're not going to want to, people are just going to want second place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're going to be playing in twos. We don't need that. We need to get people in there who are broke, who need the money, who are ready to play and know how to play the game.
Yeah.
So that's.
What did you say? You said we need to get people in there that are not playing for loyalty.
Loyalty. I don't want to see another person. If you on your cast, producers, Robin, listen to me. If people are on their auditions, which could be me or it could be you, at saying like, I just want to play a loyal, trustworthy, don't sign them up. Don't sign them up. At max, we should get one of those.
They're just looking for like hot people who want to be reality stars,
right? But I don't want to,
or quirky people,
right? But I want to see people who want to be.
I know.
One thing about Chelsea, you can at every moment from the beginning that she got into, she wanted to win.
Yeah, no, you're right.
There was no ulterior motives. There was nothing else.
That's true.
She wanted more.
That's true.
Than to win and to see her dog when it was all over, like she said.
That's true.
So that I could commend her on. And again, I never was a biggest fan, but I respect good gameplay. And seeing how it all went down, knowing how everything went, I think her reputation among winners and among Big Brother is only going to grow.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Okay, keep in mind the second the second that Chelsea basically told Cam and Mackenzie to stop cuddling, it was done. They were not touching anymore.
Yeah.
That's the kind of power she had over
She really
these
did.
people.
And she knew that was throwing her game off, and she stopped it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, just kudos to her. She really did her big thing.
Mm.
So let's talk about all the other auxiliary stuff before we wrap this live reaction up. And thank you for watching this far and listening this far. Okay. So we had our jury come back. You know, we kind of seen all their opinions. There wasn't anything too shocking.
Mm-hmm.
Then they brought the people who have been watching back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the last thing, I guess, for the people who are in the jury, Julie did reveal to them that they were possibly the last 9 people in America to not know that Joe Biden was running.
Yeah.
And of course, Tucker was like, "Come on, tell them everything."
Yeah.
About the assassination attempts and all the other crazy stuff that's been going on. But I think it was for the best. They didn't also say, "Oh yeah, one of the candidates has been shot at twice."
She basically was just like, "And remember to vote. Register to vote."
Yeah. So there's that. Then we had some of the people come back. Now, some of these people I did not care. Like Lisa, if she hadn't have spoken, wouldn't have been a big deal.
Kenny didn't say a word.
Yeah, which is, I think Lisa's in that territory. I don't know why they had her speak.
Yeah. Joseph is from Tampa, which I forgot. So they were talking to him about Milton and about how he had lost some personal items during it, and some people in the community had passed away, and it was very touching. And
I'm glad he was able to speak on that. That was probably a shock to the people in the house.
Yeah, then we were like mind blown thinking about them not knowing about a natural disaster that happened while they were in there.
Yeah. So that that was what we got from him. Now, let's get to the Tucker of it all. We talked about him winning America's Favorite Outcast.
Yeah. You
can kind of see from some of the reactions that Angela Quinn and Tucker were the final 3. I saw Chelsea go like a little bit. She tried to catch herself.
Yeah.
But and didn't show too many of the other reactions.
Yeah.
But I could see her going, whoa. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
And I love that when they get that, like, that's what the narratives were on the outside.
I know. It's so funny.
So it was fun to see them react to that. And I also love that they got to see Angela, what Angela was like in the diary rooms.
Oh, yeah. They showed him charcuterie gate.
Her on the floor crying, her on the floor crying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. And that's, I sometimes they do this, and I actually don't watch as much as I say they would because it's just not as easy accessible. I'd have to follow them, But I would love to have a reunion where they get them to sit down and react to clips from the season.
Oh, that would be so good.
Right, and they kind of do it quickly here, but no, I need it all.
I watched a clip of Tucker reacting to Rubina's exit interview, and that was pretty cute. But yeah, I would like that too. I think that would be interesting.
So yeah, we had Tucker. I actually thought, I was worried. I was horrified. I thought he was about to propose for a split second when he went to give her flowers.
Yeah, he gave her flowers. There's something about the way that he talks when he's like putting on.
Well, Julie,
I can't stand it.
He's not.
I can't stand it.
People love Tucker. I was not a fan.
He's just Jim Carrey in the mask.
At least Jim Carrey is funny and I think lovable. Tucker to me is no. Like Tucker to me was just below Angela for me. Like I mean, I only liked him slightly more than I did Angela, and that's barely. But here I did think it was cute because I think they're well suited for each other.
You did.
Rubina and Tucker.
This is a rare moment where I was like, ugh, and you were like, babe, it's sweet.
Yeah,
I was like, this is not ever happen.
I think what I like about it is that Tucker's weird. And it's going to take a special kind of person to like him. And Rubina, who came here for love. I don't know if she even wanted the money. Was talking every chance she can bring up. She'd been single for 4 years and she was looking for love and she was unlucky in love. So to have a public romance with a guy who's really into you, even after being separated for months. Okay.
That's true. And it does seem like they have very similar like humor, and like the way he talks doesn't get on her nerves. She really likes it.
Yeah, that's what it. You ever have that weird friend in your friend group who's like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see the person they end up with because it's going to need a special kind of person. There's specific people that I know were
probably us.
No, there's
we were
people,
those people.
No, not me. Are you kidding me? It was probably like, anyways. There's specific people I can think of in our friend group, so we would always be like, who are they going to end up with? And then you see them, and it's a person who can tolerate that.
If
you know
you're
what I mean?
listening to this podcast, it's not you.
No, if you're
You're
listening
not
to
the
this
weird
pod,
one
it's
in the
definitely
friend
you.
group.
It's definitely you. So, anyways, so that was cool. That was cool to see that, and they had that moment. Then they had another moment. I'm like, why don't we just get this all out of the way? Where he admitted to being the instigator,
Yeah.
and upsetting her, but it's like we already got
And
the
she
hug.
played she did her little acting thing. Like
Yeah.
she was, I think they both want to be actors. I genuinely think that.
No, well, neither of them are good at it. So just stick to being influencers. Be the zany Big Brother people. And Julie loves Big Brother couples. She's always, just so you know, we have more success with relationships than The Bachelor.
Listen, respect. And Julie, she's not as bad as like Nick and Vanessa Lachey on Love is Blind.
Well, no one could ever be as bad as Vanessa Lachey is, where she's begging people to procreate. We need a Love is Blind baby. Love is Blind baby. Calm down. But Julie is I mean, she's not close, but she's approaching. And then Cedric spoke a little bit of just how crazy the season was.
Yeah.
It's always good to see people when they're dressed to the nines. They're not lounging in the house. It's just what they're trying to do to.
I loved Mackenzie's outfit. Oh, that was so good.
I did not. I thought I wasn't going to comment on it because it's not my place, not my business.
Okay, then don't.
But now that it's brought up,
then don't.
I didn't think either were really serving this finale.
I did.
I mean, hair and makeup, yeah, sure, but the outfits, I was like, okay, what are we doing?
I thought they were great. You don't know what you're talking about.
I'll have you know that I've seen maybe 13 seasons of Project Runway, so I do know what I'm talking about.
That's fair. That is fair. You have.
And I'll say, I've got a pretty good taste of fashion when it comes to Project Runway, at least. I feel like I can always kind of vibe and see who's the winner.
And that's fair.
There have been times where I've really liked someone that got eliminated, though.
Yeah.
I can think of them right now. I can't think of their names.
Yeah.
All right, but this is Big Brother. So, and then I think that was it. Okay, Matt, we talked about Matt doing his weird thing. I don't want to talk about him anymore. And was that it from the people who hadn't been on the show?
Pretty much.
So Tucker wins. He talked. I muted it. You got mad at me for muting it.
Yeah, I was like, you might not want to hear it, but I do.
Yeah, I was just like, this is not your moment. This is Chelsea's moment. And then Chelsea, I also liked that she didn't do the whole, I'm so happy to put, and then talk. She was like, I worked really hard for this. I'm happy I won it. I just want to go see my dog.
Yeah,
and I was like,
she did.
You know what? Not to say that I ever disliked Chelsea, but I definitely was like, what are we doing with the whole Cam Mackenzie thing?
Yeah.
But that's really all it's been, and she's found a way to win. So
yeah.
Oh, there's some other things about Chelsea I forgot, but it's not podcast stuff. Anyways,
what?
I don't know. Let's just say this: she calls Twitter X, and people who do that are of a certain ilk, and I need confirmation on some things.
Oh,
but that has nothing to do with the game.
Got it.
Outside of that, I thought it was a great season. One of those seasons that I was happy to watch to the end, even if it was points where it was obvious who was going to win. Where
Agreed.
does this season rank? Where does Chelsea rank for you?
Oh, man.
And I know you're not really an instant ranker.
I'm really not, because I forget so
or
many
an assessor.
things. I can say Derek is one of the greatest of all time in my book.
Yeah.
And I feel like she's pretty high up there with him.
I got you.
But I'm not at a place to say she's my favorite of all time.
When it comes to women winners, do you like her?
Yes.
Do you think she's more deserving than Taylor Hale?
Yes.
Nicole
Franzel, yes. Now, my girl, Jordan absolutely not. I love Jordan. I will always love Jordan. I need to go back and watch that season, because I think I would look at it with different eyes.
I want to do a rewatch.
Yeah,
I always loved rewatch.
Because I think I was just, younger at a different place. But I loved Jeff and Jordan.
Yeah, I always loved to. And, wow. She said that. Please don't come for her, guys. So I always love to rewatch older seasons. It's just fun to do.
You didn't like Jeff?
No, I didn't have a problem with Jeff and Jordan, but people online hate Jeff and Jordan.
Why?
Because they were one of the weirdos, the underdogs to win.
Well, I loved that.
So, anyways, here's the thing about Chelsea. I think it's just because I'm older, And maybe, but I'm sure there's going to be some people who will become fans of the show because of her dominance. And I still think the only thing I think that separates, in my opinion, her from Danielle Reyes is that Danielle Reyes never won.
Yeah.
Danielle Reyes should have won.
Yeah.
It's just they showed her diary rooms. If Danielle Reyes didn't have to deal with the bitter jury,
Yeah.
she would be, in my opinion, and I still think she is, but she can't win. You didn't win. She would be like top 3 of all time. But they showed her diary. People were bitter, and it was
that
not any good.
When they decided to stop letting them see it?
People say that, but I don't actually know. I think it was actually maybe one more season.
Okay, because honestly,
but that played
that's
a part
not
of it.
fair. Because
it's not.
Even to this time,
that's what Lisa said.
Lisa was like, "Listen, I saw your diary rooms. I didn't know you were capable of that."
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody was like, "What?"
If they had seen the diary rooms, let me tell you who would not voted for Chelsea. It probably would have been similar to Danielle Reyes. Angela 100%. But actually, Mackenzie's were just as worse. So who knows? Angela might have abstained.
I don't think Rubina would have.
Rubina definitely would have, because Chelsea didn't respect her at all. The T-Core stuff. T-Core actually was probably always going to vote for Chelsea. It would have been harder to get Leah's vote, seeing how much she schemed, and how much she forced Mackenzie to do that. Quinn loves the game, so I don't think he wouldn't have cared. He would have cared. He probably would have liked it if she was hearing her talk bad about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happened to Danielle Reyes in my book, and that's why I also have always had a special place for her. I wanted her to win reindeer games, but it wasn't really Big Brother. It was a different thing.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing that separates them in my book. And I think
has Danielle Reyes been on other reality shows?
People have said she might be on this season of The Traitors.
Ooh.
But I don't remember back in when she was on Big Brothers, the original Big Brothers, if like her original season in All Stars. I don't remember if around that time she was doing other stuff. I don't think so. I don't remember her being an Amazing Race, but I could be dead wrong about that. But it is what it is at this point. And yeah. Is that all we have for Big Brother 26?
I think so. Were we going to give out our awards?
Yes, let's give out the People's Rose favorite house guests. Who is our favorite house guest? And I guess I know yours.
Wait, who are we giving the People's Rose?
Yeah, the People's Rose. It's our favorite house guest for this season.
Who do you think mine is?
Chelsea. You've been rooting for the whole time.
Yeah, I will give it to Chelsea.
I'm gonna give it to Chelsea too.
For sure.
She's the winner in my book.
For sure.
I want to give
go ahead.
I want to give a negative rose to Mackenzie.
What is a negative rose?
I just made it up. It's like, come on, girl, we got to do better.
Well, I want to give Mackenzie a gold rose.
And why?
Because she did win a lot of comps. She did get with Chelsea when she was down bad and needed help.
Yeah.
But I respect that she was trying to play a loyal game. Do I think that's how you win? Not necessarily, but I can respect it.
Okay. There's really no one else on the cast I want to give a rose to, that I can think of.
Really?
I will give a bronze rose to Quinn, for kind of helping people in the jury and making sure people knew how good of a game Chelsea's playing.
And
making sure
that.
there was no bitterness. And I'll give just to have another rose to give out, a silver rose to Taylor Hale for continuing to serve. She looked great.
Fair.
And I'll being a great host. I think she could be around with Big Brother for a long time.
Yeah, same.
She was literally a Miss America contestant, so we know she's got stage presence.
Yeah.
Anything else Big Brother related?
I think that's it.
I'll give a gold rose to Janky too.
Janky, he came back to life.
And saying the Janky, we love you.
If you're wondering what a true trauma bond is, here is a great example from a therapist. Janky terrorized these people for a week, and then they killed him off. They literally had a scene of him dying, and these people were very sad about it. That is a trauma bond.
Yeah.
But he came back to life. So.
Yeah.
And made him sing the song one more time.
Yeah.
And they were traumatized again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so it was a good season. Happy to have watched it with you guys. Thank you for watching and listening to the People's Rose. Again, we've got more reality content to talk about. Please check out our playlist on YouTube where we have segments from shows from episodes that didn't make it out, and then other. You can expect another episode from this week where we'll talk about the Bachelorette, the Golden Bachelorette, and the Love Is Blind. Those last few episodes, and as well the lost episodes, greatest hits, um, uh, is out, and so you can watch and listen to some of the stuff that you've missed or that we weren't able to release. But again, follow us on social media, like and subscribe on to our podcast and our YouTube channel. And just thank you so much for listening and watching Big Brother with us. We really appreciate it. Bye.
Bye.
Peace out. That was whatever.